Alright, this is the 1972 F250 Camper Special Sport Custom. Just pulled it in. It's a little wet. Was doing a little drive in the rain. Dried it off halfway. There's a little bit of water spotting on it that it's going to need to get cleaned up there. But paint is pretty decent. It was resprayed at one point, I'm assuming in the 80s or 90s. It looks dang straight. I feel like it shows how it is in the video and the photos. And it's got some little patina going on in some spots. That's all nice and solid though. There's the tailgate. This is one of the areas where it came through. There's a little bit there, a little bit here and here. It had a camper on it at one point, being a camper special. It came from the factory setup with the heavy duty rear suspension, the overrider springs, it's got the Dana 60 semi-float heavy duty rear axle. It has a camper special bumper on it, which has these bars. You pull this pin down right there, and then those guys, it's got those bars, and this bumper will slide all the way out, so you can have the tailgate down with a camper and you still get a step. So I believe there's camper in it in a while, and the water was collecting down in here, and that's why it was rusty that way. Bed's real straight. It's got a couple little dents on the wheel wells, but the floor itself is real straight. The only holes in the bed, it's got a few little guys up here where it started to go through. Again, it had a camper in it at one point, so the water would pool up there. This bar is another part of the camper setup. It slides into these guys underneath here across, and that's your little camper bar that sticks out right there for your tie downs on your camper. Another camper special feature, toolbox inside the bed. Toolbox is solid, and this generation Ford, they're made out of metal. Do not have a key for this lock, so that will need a new lock cylinder if you would so wish to make that lockable, but that's very, very cheap. If you don't know how to do it, a locksmith will do it for a very fair price. Door jambs. Passenger side is real solid rockers. It's got one tiny little spot starting to come through right there. That's about it. This is all solid. That's all surface rust. Everything you see is just surface. Like I said, it was repainted at one point. There's a little bit of overspray from the white on there, which this had it on it as well, and I was starting to take it all off with some really light steel wool and some cleaning solution. But I just was starting to spend too much time on it. So if you wanted to, you could clean up the rest of the door jambs very, very easily that way. The doors themselves are real solid. Bottoms of the doors aren't rusted out. Window actuators are pretty smooth. And the vent windows, they work, do their whole thing. The doors shut real nice. The locks work. Keys and all that work. This truck is actually real quiet. The door seals are in really great shape. I've had her on the freeway going 70, 75, and hardly any whistling. You don't really hear much at all. It's real quiet, nice ride in the cab here. Headliners, brand new backing board, and I did a custom felt material on there. The visor's in really great shape. The windshield seal's good. I put a brand new seal in the back window because that one was cracked pretty good, so that doesn't leak at all. Good slider window, which seals up real good. Just recovered the seat, brand new upholstery on the seat. Nice velour, very comfy. No rust at all inside the cab on the floor. I've got picture with the seat out. No leaks in the tank. Fuel gauge works. Everything works on the interior, electrical, all of that. It's got 2 cracks on the dash, but otherwise the dash is in really great shape as well. It has the original Philco AM radio, which works. Fan speeds all work. Emergency flashers, all that stuff, all good. Again, it was repainted at one point. Paint looks pretty dang nice. Very presentable. It is not perfect. It is not a perfect show truck by any means. But it does show very well. It's a great daily driver. Again, real solid doors. It's got a little tiny hole right here, but it's all real solid around it. And then again, another very small hole starting to come through right there. Everything else on the cab corners, they're all good. The rocker's good. All real solid there. Just refreshing that steering wheel as well. New wraps, that's all nice. Again, doors just great doors. Everything's lined up real good. Show you under the hood. Again, not a show truck under the hood, but a good solid runner. Everything's clean. Windshield washer pump works and squirters work. It's got everything again listed in the ad. All brand new drive belts, complete tune-up, plugs, wires, new set of points, condenser, air cleaner, fuel pump, fuel filters in the pump and underneath the cab between the tank and the pump. Just changed the oil. Newer upper and lower radiator hoses, new coolant lines for the heater core, vacuum lines, carburetors all rebuilt, just all those things. A newer battery in it from Napa, newer battery cables. It's got a new tie down on it as well. Power steering works really good. It's really easy to drive. And the hood's solid too. It's a really great hood actually. Closes real easy. It does have a little bit coming through on the front radiator support right here on either side. If you really wanted to, you could replace that later down the road, but at this point, it's so small, it's really not an issue. I'll give you guys a little bit of a look underneath here. Again, just real straight. All the bright work on it, all the trim, all the chrome, all looks great. It's all in really good shape. Tires are in good nick. It's got the Cooper Discoverer all-terrains with plenty of tread on them. It drives real good in the wet weather. And I'll give you some views underneath here. And you know, it's got a little surface rust on things like the drive shaft and the axle housing and the frame rails and stuff, but overall not too bad. The worst bit of rust I would say on the truck. Change the orientation here. Frame rails. The Fuel tank support, that's all really good. Normally those things are all rotted out. Well, again, the worst rust on the truck is right here. It's passenger side, cab corner on the, or a seam on the bottom part of the cab. It's got a little bit going here. Everything that's here is real solid though. So you could run that for a real long time before you need to do a replacement on that. And then this support here, it's got a good piece missing on her. Let's see if I can get a little further away shot so you can actually see what's going on there. There we go. Again, everything else around it is real solid. So if you wanted to do a little patch panel on that later, that wouldn't be too bad. Output shaft seal in the transmission is good. Back of that's dry. There's a little bit of crud here and there underneath, but overall, it's pretty dang clean. Let's go around to the other side. Tailgate closes good. Oh, it's got that another camper special component. It's got that big heavy duty receiver on it. Trailer lights. The harness works. That's all hooked up properly. Slide down here. Get you a little better shot. Again, it's a northern truck. It's got a little surface rust on her, but it is solid. This is that support I was telling you about for the camper bar. And again, same thing on this side. It's got a little bit coming through here on the back of the cab. Lower, and again, that section there. Nothing real major. Let's get around the front. Again, real clean. Another thing the camper special came with: dual piston disc brakes up front. So for a 50-year-old truck, they stop real nice. They're designed for pulling a lot of weight. And the 360's got plenty of power. Again, pretty clean motor. I'm gonna say, judging by the gray paint and how clean the seals are on the engine, that it was rebuilt at one point, most likely. Also, the odometer's showing, again, it says 55,000 on the dash. I'm assuming it's 155. Everything functions. Just turn on the key. Fuel gauge is coming up. Starting to temper gauge turned on. The lights all run. We're gonna pull those. Got your parking or your running lights and your actual lights. High beam is a dip switch on the floor. I got the right turn signal, left turn signal. Pop around the back. Running lights, tail lights, brake lights. Go ahead, hit the emergency flasher. It's next to the cigarette lighter. That works on them all as well. Again, all the electrical's good. headlights run. It does have this switch for the dome light. To fix that, I believe the actual headlight switch, which you need to replace on that. Again, it's got the factory AM radio. Pretty cool piece. All the presets, they all work. Fan works. All the different speeds. And that's pretty much the whole rig. I'll do a quick startup video, another little walk around when we get outside. Alright, I wanted to get a video of it starting up. That's a good way to show that. If you don't have it all the way down in park, you don't got to jiggle or anything, just make sure it's all the way down. When it's 100% cold, I usually give it one pump on the pedal and it fires right up. Then give it a little bit of gas to get her going, and it'll spool up and it'll sit there and idle for you when it's cold. It's not completely cold, but it ain't at operating temperature yet either. Got that other video of it running down the road. I just wanted to show you guys, all the gauges working, how she sounds in the truck. It's got a couple little glass pack style mufflers on it, and yeah, it's got a real good sound. Just want to get a nice little idling walk around video. Again, it's got that gray paint on the valve covers and the entire motor, so to me, in my experience, that usually means somebody rebuilt it at one point. Also, you can see where the intake manifold meets the heads, the valve covers and everything, it's nice and dry. So to me, that means it was rebuilt at one point. Just a real solid truck. Again, it's not a show truck. This is what I would call an obtainable, drivable classic. This is a driver. These are real popular right now. A lot of people, are getting these things, restoring them, maybe going a little too heavy. This is a really nice, clean example that's reliable, that you can actually get into, and it's not going to cost you 20, 30 grand. Again, this is what I would call a driver. You can drive it to work daily if you really wanted to. I've done that for years with these kinds of trucks. And this is a really good one for driving to work on Friday, taking out, for date night on the weekends, road trips, going camping, all that kind of stuff. Just an overall really nice, solid little rig that's affordable and you can get into. And there you go. Got any questions, please send me a message. I'll be more than happy to send you more photos of anything specific you want, more video. And if you want to chat, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you. Okay. Truck's at operating temp. No hesitation, shifting in reverse. big lurch. Right in the drive. That's 40. And 60. Kickdown linkage is good. Or should say kickdown drops nice. Not much of a delay there. Yeah, she just putts right along. It's 40, 45. Speedo's nice and steady. Oil pressure's great. It's a good driving little truck.